It's your boy DJ Stutter Pearl. Back in the day with DJ Money Making. And guess what? Yes, I am a WUTK alumni. 90.3 The Rock. Keep it locked, man.
That's right, everyone. Keep it locked. This is WTK 90.3 The Rock. I am Chris Clarke, your host of the Wednesday night Rock Solid Sports Show. We apologize for that kind of rough intro. We're getting set up in the studio. We're teaching people how to get hands-on experience in here. So we appreciate you for being patient with us and for rocking with us as you all constantly do. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight is your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports. Again, I am Chris Clarke. Here in the studio with me, we've got Justin Clemmer. Justin, how's it going, man?
Doing great, man. It's, great win against Missouri. We got some Vols basketball tonight, looking to get back on track after that loss against Colorado. And, yeah, we're in the thick of it right now. I mean, this is where we make our mark in the season in these next few weeks, put our foot not just in the college football playoff, but in the championship. And, I couldn't be more excited.
Absolutely. I mean, basketball course off and going. We're excited to see those basketballs back on the court, men's and women's, of course. We're going to get into all of that as we proceed along. Let me first throw it to our guy, Dylan Becker. He's across the glass there in the fishbowl. Dylan, how we doing tonight?
To me, it's a little bittersweet. Obviously, last game at Neyland as a student this past Saturday was cool to see the win. But also looking forward to whatever we do for the rest of the season. Regardless of what happens, it's been a lot of fun to watch through all of the ups and downs of being a student here at Tennessee.
Beautiful game because I know a lot of people don't watch soccer on the regular, but a World Cup is something to behold. I don't care what sport you're a fan of. If you are a fan of just competition and just countries coming together, just watch it and enjoy. And this time, USA will be in it.
We are in it to win it, right? I believe that we will win. That is the chant that we have. Hopefully, it comes to fruition. But man, it is going to be a solid month of World Cup action. I'm excited, especially.
Yeah, World Cup in the winter too. I mean,
in the winter.
Usually it's in the summer, but now for the holidays, I guess get your Christian Pulisic jerseys for Christmas.
Right. Usually you're trying to beat the heat outside and sit back, watch some good games on or whatever. And this year we're gonna be all cozy, bundled up, watching our boys. That's right. That's the way to do it.
Bowl of chicken soup.
Exactly.
Whatever fits your fancy, man. It's World Cup in the wintertime. Enjoy it because I don't know if we'll see this again, or at least it may be a while. Dominic, do we finally have you on with us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you for being remote at our fabulous Wednesday night sponsor, Fieldhouse Social. How is the vibe down there? It seems quieter than usual.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's going great. It's great. I'm down here as always. We got the Tennessee game on behind me. Uh, Tennessee's currently down by 2, unfortunately. I don't think any longer, actually. Sounds like we just scared. But yeah, there was just a trivia question about my home state of Idaho. So it's always a good time down here with Fieldhouse. Love this place.
Yeah, and an interesting development for Vols hoops. We have taken Zakai Ziegler out of the starting lineup tonight. Tyreek Key is getting the nod over him. Yeah, possibly to help us in the shooting department. You know, somewhere we've struggled. It feels like the whole time Barnes has been here, and I mean, I don't really know how to feel about it. It's gonna take some W's in the columns to really solidify that decision, but you know, after the loss against Colorado, you know, really the home game for us. Not in Thompson-Boling, but in Bridgestone. I mean, I understand it.
Yeah, one of those neutral site, but not really neutral site venues. So I tell you what, you know, we don't have again Coach Clarke on for the first segment. Understand he's busy. More power to you, Coach. We hope you're doing wonderful things. And in terms of our hockey news, obviously, Dylan, we will still get to you on that. But while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and discuss some Tennessee sports.
Might as well.
We had a late start into the show again. We apologize about the timing issues of the previous program. But it bought us some time to get some things going in here too. So believe me, it worked out on that end. Nevertheless, let's jump into it, guys. We're already talking Tennessee basketball. Yeah, that was a pretty crushing loss the other day, losing to Colorado in the sense that the fashion that it happened. Colorado had never previously beaten Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a big win for them. They had not had one of those big wins in quite a long time. Justin, jump more into that game. Just kind of tell us what you saw, and obviously you feel like they're making this change to get more shooting into the lineup.
Yeah, well, it's classic Rick Barnes basketball. I mean, you're not going to have a ball dominant player. The ball is going to be moving around, and so that's going to create a lot of 3-point opportunities. And we're shooting the ball as if we're a really good 3-point team, but right now we're not. We made 10 out of 37 last game on Sunday, and that's only 27%. And yeah, he proved over the preseason and during the start of this season that he can easily be our best shooter. And yeah, and we're gonna need that a lot. And another thing that's gonna help is Triple J coming back in the starting lineup. And we got our senior, our rock, and things will look a lot different. We got Florida Gulf Coast tonight. I do not know much about that team. I just know that they are, known to be a Cinderella. So let's see if the shoe fits tonight. Hopefully not.
Yeah, FGCU just beat USC earlier in the season, so they're no slouch. They'll be a difficult team to play tonight, especially with all the teams around the country that have been upsetting in their bye games. There's been a lot of chaos early on this college basketball season. But like you said, Rick Barnes' teams always focus on shooting. And in that Colorado game, we lived and died by the 3, and to make matters worse, we shot like 20% from the field total, and that's no way to play a game. We're never going to be able to win if we're shooting like that.
And our defense was in there, which is something we usually just don't worry about. But unranked Colorado, they got the best of us. What's up, Tom?
I just agree with you and say that it just seems like there's a lack of hustle out there on Sunday. The Tennessee team they seem slow. They seem to be more speed in the game. But yeah, I mean, we just kind of have to figure out who's going to be our number one guy, who's going to be our ball handler. And it seems like it's going to be Tyreek Key. It's because we really just does not seem to want to step into that role, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be tough when you lose a guy like Kennedy Chandler. He was, one of the fastest guards in the country and one of the best defensive guards in the country. So he really set the tone offensively on the side of kind of setting up the offense, putting pressure on the defense, attacking the rim, kicking it out to guys like Vescovi, like Josiah Jordan James. And on defense, just applying pressure as soon as they cross the half-court line. And, yeah, we clearly missed that. It's going to take some adjusting time. But, Florida Gulf Coast, this is a good game to get back on track. Our out-of-conference schedule isn't too difficult. Later in December, we'll take on Arizona, a rematch after that crazy game we had here in TBA. So things should be looking up for the Vols. I'm not too worried. Barnes is a good coach. He's proved that. And, with guys like Julian Phillips, Tyreek Key, Triple J, they'll step up. This is a new basketball team. I know we did return a lot of starters, but losing a guy like Kennedy Chandler, I mean, that's a guy who had to rock a lot. So
I think, excuse me, and I think we saw that down the stretch for Tennessee, because what Kennedy Chandler provided last year for the basketballs was, I think, something that maybe they had been kind of missing in some of those better teams from prior. And I mean, like, the Admiral teams, with Grant, of course, and some of the other ones we've had that just, those teams had the potential, but it seemed like there was just that missing ball dominant guard that could really drive that offense and get them home to where they needed to be. And so for Tennessee in the first half, it was only a 2-point lead at halftime. Tennessee shot the ball terribly. Let's be real. 25% overall from the fields. Dominic, you were about spot on with that. And so it was just not a good performance from them. I believe they led by as much as 8 before halftime, but it stayed closer than you wanted it to see. And I think that was, with Tennessee, it was only the second game. And despite the couple of ones that I think they played prior, but that don't really count. Gonzaga was a phenomenal win, but it didn't count towards our regular season. But that experience helps. Early in the season, we're going to see those sluggish lack of leadership moments, and I don't mean that in a super negative way, but it seems like Tennessee's still having to find that identity of where they are in terms of that front court, the back court, excuse me. I think losing Chandler was a big hit, but this team still has so many big weapons. You talked about Triple J and just how clutch he has been. He was big in that first win, and Tennessee's going to need him to continue to be what we know him to be. And so I am curious about Tennessee at the point guard position. I hope the move with Sakai that they're looking at doing right now, I hope it does give them some balance, because you're not going to win many games shooting 25%. We know that. But for Tennessee right now, Colorado just got the best of them. Coach Barnes saying after the game, they were the better team. They deserve to win. And Tennessee has to use that and figure out, how do we get better? We just lost to a not really good team in a neutral site, but a not really a neutral site. So, yeah, we'll see how they do moving forward with that.
Yeah, and on the point of Josiah Jordan-James, he is coming back from an injury. So, that's going to take some time for him to get back to 100%. And on the point of talking about like guys like Tyreek Key, Julian Phillips, I mean, we saw the potential in this team once we took down Michigan State and Gonzaga in our preseason outs. So, we know this team's talented. We know they have what it takes to make another deep SEC tournament run, but we're gonna need Triple J to get fully healthy, get his feet under him, and once he does that, because that's our rock. And once Triple J, he comes back to form, and then I think we'll be rocking again.
Yeah, I also was a little bit disappointed with that Colorado game too, with the big men play. I feel like I was expecting a lot more this season out of McConnell and Justice. I thought they would make a lot of moves forward and progress to be a lot better players this season. But in that game, they didn't really seem to make that big of an impact. And obviously, Eros was out, and Eros looked really good in the Gonzaga preseason game. But I was really looking forward to the big men this season. They haven't really quite shown up yet. I'd really like to see I do really get involved with this team, because I think he does have a bit of an ability to shoot the ball, and that could prove really useful. But I do think we're missing a guy like Andre Hatfield, who did have size and could shoot, because that helps spread the floor for the guards to work a little bit better.
Well, and all good points, Dominic. So as we say about the basketballs, we expect that we'll see better from them. We will continue to monitor this Florida Gulf Coast game that they are playing at home here in Thompson Bowling. That is Thompson Bowling Arena, just across the street from us here at Andy Holt Tower. But we'll come back to that. I do want to throw out real quick that we do have Coach Clarke from the Ice Bears who has called in. Coach, you got us.
Yes, I got you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We well, first and foremost, thank you so much for giving us a ring back. We understand you are a busy man today. Can you just talk a little bit about what you guys are out there doing?
Yeah, no, we were just had like a little food drive thing with OEP Law, and yeah, no, it was great. Great to see people come out and stay for the law firm there to get everything going, and mingle out with the Iceberg fans at their facility there. So thank you to them.
Coach, I was wondering, how much do events like this, charity events, what do they do to build the team morale? Just kind of got to get the boys together, and then so y'all can go toe to toe on the ice.
Sorry for the event. I could barely hear you there.
Oh yeah. I was just asking, kind of what impact do events like this, just charitable events, just where you realize that you have a great impact on the community for more reasons than just your coaching ability and the players' hockey ability. What do events like these kind of do for the team around, just rallying the boys together in general?
They mean a lot. It's good for team morale. The boys love doing it. Everyone came, and people came and got shirts signed, and dropped some stuff off for charity and stuff. It was a great event. It was well put on, and the guys just love doing it. Honestly, these are young gentlemen, and they're learning to be professionals, and it's all part of the program. So
I bet it is funny kind of seeing some of your players who drop the gloves on the ice just go over and go donate things to kids. It's kind of two sides of the coin, I guess.
Well, usually the guys that drop the gloves on the ice that are tough are teddy bears off the ice. So and the fans love them. And, they're actually great human beings, and they do that because they're good at it, and they like to pick up with the teammates, and it's just part of the job for them. And off the ice, they're just normal people like you and I, and they just like to have fun, and they're teddy bears, like I said.
So we have teddy bears acting as ice bears on the ice. That to me, that's actually a fantastic soundbite from you, Coach.
No, absolutely, yeah. No, it's good to see these guys interact, though.
Yes, and thank you so much for what you all are doing. Obviously, we're big on community efforts ourselves here at WTK and UT in general. So commend you very much for that. It is awesome to see the interaction between the local community as well as you guys, and just what you're able to do, especially this time of the year. We're getting into that time of the year where those things are necessary. So shout out to you all on that. Commend you very much. Moving on to the games from this past week. Obviously, Friday you all had Birmingham. That was a pretty tightly contested one. You all got out to a quick lead. It was a 5-3 going into the third. You were able to stave off Birmingham and be able to win that one. Can you take us just through that game and what you guys were thinking as you were going into the third period there?
Well, the nice thing was one weekend where we finally had just one game in a weekend, and we wanted to empty the tanks. And yeah, the score was very close, but I contribute that to their goaltender played very well, and we could have been up by a bunch more goals. So I thought we could have had 8 goals, to be honest with you. I mean, we had 4 breakaways on the penalty kill, and we were finally clicking, finally playing ice bear hockey, and it was nice to see. And we just continue to try to get better every day. And yeah, it was a close game, but I mean, we did have a bunch of penalty trouble there at one point, but we got through the game, we won the game, and a lot of good things came out of it.
Yeah,
Coach.
Go ahead,
Chris. Action now. So earlier today, I decided it'd be fun if we got some questions from Ice Bears fans on Facebook. I'll just read off a few of them. Is there any reason Dino Balsamo was out this past weekend?
Yeah, Dino Balsamo hurt himself in practice, and it was best for our team and him for him to not play. Just for we'd rather have him down the line than be injured. Too long. So it's like, why try to just battle through a game when we have enough players, and sit out medically, get your rehab done, and be ready to play. So he should be good to go for tomorrow night and be back in the lineup. But it was just basically a call that we made as coaching staff and medical to just sit him out for a couple of nights and just let him get better.
And kind of branching off that injury topic, any updates on Ryan Devine and his injury?
Yeah, he really hurt his finger when he was skating off the ice there. It looked like his, I want to say, index finger was making a number 7, so you can tell which way his finger was. It was kind of gross. I thought I was going to be sick on the bench looking at it, to be honest with you. But he's a tough character, as you know, and I wanted to keep playing. But again, like I said, it's better to, if he can't grip a stick and if he can't shoot a puck and if he can't play physical, then and risk injury for the rest of the year. We need him down the line. We need him down the stretch. We don't need him in the first quarter here. So.
So Coach, obviously, we've tried to do a little bit of community outreach ourselves. Dylan covering that on our end, trying to see what the fans are curious about, and we're doing our best here and trying to keep them informed as well. Because a lot of people are curious about what's going on with the Ice Bears. We always, we're always curious ourselves. We like to see you all doing well. And we know you're currently in 4th spot right now, though you're not far points behind as far as the first place leader. What's some things that I guess you need to see from your team that kind of keep you all going at this rate that you're currently going, but also try to improve and get better each week? Is there anything particular right now that you feel like maybe the offense might be lacking, or defensively either?
Well, to be honest with you, we were first place at one point there. I mean, we played 3 less games in the top team. If you add those 6 points, we're still in first. So, I mean, you just got to look at the games that way. I think we're in great shape. We're just moving forward, and at the end of the day, we come away with what our main goal is. And again, whether we finish first or we finish third, or we finish, as long as we're in that top group, and the main goal is to win a championship, and that's what we want to do here. Not only for the players, but for the Ice Bears Nation here. So, I mean, fans want it. We're trying to give it to them. We're just trying to get better every day. Our offense is, we switched some of our ozone play, which has been working. That really works well in Birmingham, and we're just going to continue to build off that. And, we may add a player here or there, but for the most part, we have our team, and we're just in it for the long haul.
Yeah, you've got Peoria coming up tomorrow night. Our own Justin Clemmer will be covering that game tomorrow for us here at Rock Solid. It is going to be his first time doing that. I'm sorry, what was that, Dylan?
It's back-to-back nights, Thursday and Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dylan is Friday. Justin is.
Yep.
I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow.
My first time.
I don't know why I keep thinking today's Thursday. That's my fault. So Justin will be there tomorrow. Thursday night, Dylan is there Friday night. I apologize. So it being Justin's first night, Coach, I know that he's going to be a member of the media, but for anyone who's going to an Ice Bears game for their first time, can you give him a rundown of maybe what to expect as he goes in there? What's the feeling like going to be inside for someone who's never been there before?
Oh, tomorrow Thursday, the first Thursday game for a while. I mean, we've been away for a minute, so I mean, fans are going to want to be in there. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be electric, and I think you'll have a great time. And you'll see what Ice Bear Nation's about, what the fans are about, and they want winning product, and we're trying to give it to them. So I mean, we just want to win at home. And Peoria is a good team. They won it last year. They're coming in here, and we're just got to see how we match up against them, and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see those teddy bears turn back to Ice Bears. It'll be a great time.
There you go.
Yeah. And you talked about Peoria, Coach. Of course, they last year doing what they did. This year, so far, I mean, won 3 of their last 4 matches. So, this isn't no scrub you guys are playing. You're well aware of that, and we give them the respect that they rightfully deserve. What have you seen matchup wise? What problems can they pose for you all these upcoming matchups here?
So they got a good coach. They run some good systems, and obviously we're doing our homework on their play as well, just to counteract it. we're just going to do Ice Bear. We're not worried about what they're doing. We're worried about what we're doing and how we're going to execute it. And we just got to go out there and play our hockey, and we should be fine.
So, Coach, obviously you want to keep one game at a time, but sometimes whenever you play a team back-to-back nights, do tensions tend to kind of spill over and a lot of beefs from the previous night kind of come to an end or keep going?
Oh, yeah. I think playoff hockey, you play teams back-to-back. So we just got to, we want to get that first one out of the way and then take the second night when it comes. Let's go from there.
All right. Well, Coach, we again, I want to thank you so much again for taking time out of what you got going on tonight, giving us a ring back and hopping on. We always love talking about Ice Bears hockey, and of course, our guy Justin. He cannot wait to get in the building tomorrow night to get that first time experience. Dylan, of course, our resident hockey knowledge guy. He for sure is going to be there Friday, rocking out with you all. So we cannot wait to discuss more of these next weekend. We'll be talking about the games and hopefully talking to you again about a couple of victories. So, Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you guys. Enjoy the game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, that was Coach Clarke from the Ice Bears, head coach of the Ice Bears. Always wonderful to have him on. As always, man. Again, we love keeping up with our Ice Bears here, right? So
always, local hockey.
Support your local hockey, as Dylan Becker always says.
Don't get me wrong, the NHL is great, but it's always fun to watch people come out to these barns in the middle of nowhere. Not that Knoxville's in the middle of nowhere, and they care more than NHL in a way because it's a minor league hockey team, yes, but that just makes it mean more and shows that people care enough to just watch the hockey because they just love the sport in general.
Yeah, and the theme nights are great. Tomorrow nights we got Ranch Night, Chili's Ranch Night. So
it's Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Okay. All right, I'll bring the cowboy hat.
I will say too, with minor league hockey, we usually get some more fights, so it's always really entertaining to go.
I cannot wait to see a fight, man. That's gonna be.
Hopefully you do, just because I grew up watching the NHL, and we had guys like Donald Brashear and Ty Domi always throwing hands every game. So if you get to see a fight in your first game covered, then that's really cool.
That's success. That's success.
Fight and a win.
A successful night right there. Yes, fight and a win right there. Those are the only two things you can truly hope for going in. So hopefully you get that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we are going to move on. We're going to take a quick break. We're a little behind on that. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about Tennessee athletics. We got football coming up on the dial. We got to get into the Missouri game as well as this weekend's game coming up against the Gamecocks. And we'll also later on in the show be getting into some NBA and NFL talk. Stay tuned. This is your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WTK 90.3 The Rock.
The Rock receives support from The Hill, Fort Sanders' destination for wings, beer, and sports, including college football every Saturday and the NFL's Sunday Ticket. The Hill proudly hosts Rock Solid Sports Friday broadcast from 7 to 8 p.m. Located at 1105 Forest Avenue, just blocks from UT campus, The Hill is open 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day. TheHillKnox.com.
Knoxville, be sure to tune in Wednesday nights from 8 until 10 p.m. for The Alternative, sponsored by Bliss and Corey Mason Shoes on Gate Street and at West Town Mall. And Bliss Home at the Gallery Shopping Center, also sponsored by Boyd's Chicken Grill, bar and live music venue in the heart of Knoxville's Old City. The Alternative features 2 hours of the best in Americana music from the station who first brought Knoxville music by bands from back in the alt-country days, like the Jayhawks, Uncle Tupelo, Steve Earle, and Jason and the Scorchers, to 90s Americana like the B-Boys, Whiskey Town, Lucinda Williams, Sunvold, and others, to modern-day Americana musicians like Molly Tuttle, Tyler Childers, Casey Musgrave, Sturgill Simpson, Billy Strings, and the Punch Brothers. You'll also get classic Americana like Johnny Cash, the band, and Emmylou Harris, and there's always Patsy Cline at 9. Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 for The Alternative, Sponsored by Voyage, Jig and Reel, Bliss, Bliss Home, and Torrey Mason Shoes, and only on 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
Hey, we're the Aces, and you're listening to non-commercial, non-corporate college radio, WUTK 90.3 The Rock.
WUTK thanks Cool Beans, 1817 Lake Avenue, 1 block south of the Strip, for sponsoring and hosting the Monday night Rock Solid Sports broadcast at 7 p.m. Cool Beans is the pregame and postgame location for UT football, and Knoxville's home for the NFL Sunday Ticket, Titans football on the big screen, and more. Rock Solid Sports kicks off Monday Night Football with the show's live broadcast from 7 to 8 Monday nights at Cool Beans. Cool Beans is 21 and over after 9 p.m. with a full and late night menu. CoolBeansBar.com or their Facebook page.
The Rock thanks the Knoxville Ice Bears Southern Professional Hockey League team for their support. Their 2022-2023 home ice season from October through April includes games with SPHL rivals Fayetteville, Huntsville, Roanoke, and more at the Civic Coliseum downtown. Single game and season tickets are at KnoxvilleIceBears.com or 865-525-PUCK. Rock Solid Sports features Ice Bears Wednesdays with news and updates. Volunteer Radio says, Go Ice Bears!
The Rock keeps the Big Orange Sports info on air thanks to support from the UT Athletic Department and the Lady Vols basketball program. Coach Kelly Harper and the Lady Vols 2022-2023 home schedule includes games against UConn, Virginia Tech, SEC foes, and more. General public ticket info is at allvols.com. Student ticket info and login is at bigorangetics.utk.edu. That's TIX. WUTK says, Go Lady Vols!
Hey, this is Caleb Hawley. You're listening to Volunteer Radio 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
The Rock thanks the UT Athletic Department and the UT Lady Vols volleyball program for their support. The final 2 home volleyball matches at Thompson Bowling Arena for the Lady Vols this season is against Mississippi State this Saturday, November 19th at 4 p.m. and this Sunday at noon. The public is invited to attend all matches at Thompson Bowling Arena, and more info about UT Lady Vols volleyball is at utsports.com. Keep up with UT Sports on WUTK's Rock Solid Sports Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Go Lady Vols! All right, and welcome back to your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WTK The Rock 90.3. We appreciate you rocking with us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in and for, we just had a great segment with Coach Clarke on the other side. Bit of a ping pong segment we got going on here. We started with some UT basketball, of course, and once Coach called in, we got to him and got to talk some Ice Bears as we love to do. We will get into more hockey talk here in just a little bit. Hockey talk here on Rocky Talk. Isn't that funny? I just kind of rolled off my mind there, so sorry. But we're going to get over to our guy, Dominic. He is over at Fieldhouse Social, our Wednesday night sponsor. Dominic, how is it going over there?
It's going great. Got some great trivia going on here. Got the Tennessee game on, of course. Tennessee's doing quite well. It's 23-14 as we speak. There's been a lot of cheering around here. We've been looking pretty good. So it seems like it's a good bounce back game for us, and I'm excited. But I am seeing a lot of Prentice Perkins on TV as well, which is not as exciting, I must say.
Not a big Perk fan, my man?
Can't say that I
Yeah, he's got some hot takes. So if you're a basketball fan of any kind, if you watch ESPN, you know Perkins he's got some takes, man.
Oh man, when Reese Davis came to visit us, I remember asking him about Perkins, his pronunciation of Moses Moody, and I believe it's the 2020 draft. He's like, what, Moses Jamoody, like he said everything but his real name, and man, Reese Davis had a great time with that. That was awesome.
Reese Davis was just a great time, man. That was really cool to have him here on campus with us
which time when game day?
Yeah, I was like, man, we've had 3 matchups featured on game day this year, and 2 were here on campus. It's been a wild year, and like it just shows you how long ago that the Florida game was. Like we don't even really,
it's been a while.
We don't even think about the Florida game anymore. That was like 100 years ago.
That used to be a big one.
I remember. Yeah. At the beginning of the season, thinking the Florida game was going to be the coolest game, but after Florida, when we started to think, okay, maybe beating Alabama is possible, and we ended up doing that. The Florida, I don't want to say it means nothing, but
we're better than that now.
beating Alabama was probably the coolest thing I've seen in my 4 years here.
By far. Let's just go ahead and admit it. Florida now just seems like another win, and it's weird because in any other year that would not be the case. We'd be extremely happy still that we beat Florida, but beating Alabama, especially them being better ranked at the time, and just everything that this program has gone through this season, man, to see where we're at now, it's unbelievable. Especially us as students, if you've grown up in the heartbreaks of what UT football has been over the years.
It's made me cry.
Yeah, I think everyone can say they've shed some tears, they've puffed some cigars, and man, we've checked off a lot of boxes this year. But there are still boxes left to check, and Tennessee is still continuing on with their season. They just played and walloped Missouri back on Saturday. That was final score of 66-24. I was there covering it, got this, enjoy senior day along with everyone else that was out there. And man, it was quite an experience. Tennessee doing what we thought they were going to do against Missouri. We thought that was not probably going to be too close of a game, but the Tigers did hold it close there for a while. I mean, what were you guys thinking when it was 28-24?
It was like, come on, like, get it together. Like, we should not be keeping it close to Missouri, albeit Georgia did keep it pretty close to Missouri. That game was in Missouri.
That was wild.
But, we scored 38 straight points, and then, my mouth is shut. Like, there we go. We're back. We're back at it.
Yeah, I mean, the first half I honestly wasn't too worried just because that's kind of how we play teams. It's not necessarily that their offenses are terrible. It's just we really demoralized them by our offense just continuing to go down the field every single drive and score. It just makes it hard to keep up mentally, honestly. And that's just one of the ways we really take the air out of other teams. So I trusted that hype info, had it under control. But seeing Joe Milton throw those bombs was nuts. Big Throw Joe, love that guy.
That was great. It was a preview for next season. Very exciting for everybody, man. I love Joe.
He's gone from Oh No Joe, what I used to call him, to Big Throw Joe now. And that, he himself is a microcosm of the evolution of Tennessee football right now, is he not?
Yeah, he just swallowed his ego. He had the starting job last year. He lost it. He could have left. He could have transferred. No, he put in the work in the offseason and will put in the work this next offseason. It takes a lot. He was the starter, and now Hendon Hooker, he took his job, and now he's getting the Heisman. He's the Heisman candidate now. But he seems ready to take the helm next year, and I'm so excited for him. He seems like a great guy.
Man, for Joe Milton, I think everyone is super excited about Joe because, man, like you said, that was perfect. That he had to swallow his pride after what happened last year. We knew once Hendon took the field in that Pittsburgh game, it just seemed like from that point on, he was the fit for the system. That doesn't mean that we just completely forgot about Joe, but he had moments last year that made you think, man, is this the guy that's taken over? Or you know what I'm saying? Like he made you question him sometimes. Now it's like we're beyond that. Now it's like you can look at Joe Milton and say, okay, I'm excited about this guy coming in next year. He's throwing the ball extremely well. The touch on it. Our Jack Foster, I know the guys Monday shouted him out as well, and Jack and I were covering the game Saturday, and he had the stat talking about Joe Milton in just a couple drives had more stats, had bigger stats than Will Levis, who played for 4 quarters against Missouri.
Oh my God, I don't want to talk about Will Levis. How is he a projected first round pick?
He's another one on that list of people or teams that Tennessee has broken this year, and unfortunately for him,
shout out to Vandy, Tennessee sports.
Yeah, Vandy putting it on Kentucky. Wow. Trap game here in a couple weeks or no?
No. Check your Vandy game here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they got their one SEC win for 2 years. It'll be 2-3 years.
They're setting it right. It should be a cakewalk now here in 2 weeks. They got their win and they're happy with it.
Yeah.
No, but no, for the next 2 games, Tennessee's going to have obviously some. They have to finish well. We know that in terms of the current status of the college football playoffs, Tennessee has to finish well. We were talking about this prior to the show, and in terms of right now, what's Tennessee looking like going into the final few weeks? Well, they're still number 5, of course, as we know. The top 5 did not change whatsoever. Only LSU moving into the number 6 spot changed anything in the top 6. As it stands right now, Tennessee's got a couple good pathways, it seems, that they can still get to the playoffs. They had a solid win this past weekend, which they needed to have. That was really, really good to see there. Excuse me. Moving forward, Tennessee, of course, has to win. Oregon finally lost to Washington. So that was a little not even shocking. Washington is a decent team, and I was glad to see it. We were all glad to see it. However, Texas disappointed us. I think Texas disappointed every single person that roots for a UT was disappointed by their performance on Saturday night. As it stands right now, Tennessee needs really doesn't need, but probably would much rather have TCU lose a game and try to go into the playoffs as a one-loss conference champion. I don't know if anyone in the Big 12 is going to give them a run for their money, guys. What do you all think right now as far as Tennessee being in that 5 spot? How do you see them getting into that 4 as we progress forward over the next couple of weeks?
Well, there's 2.
And
go ahead, Dylan.
We talked about it earlier, and I think what we established was Ohio State needs to beat Michigan. That'll help us out a lot. And
that game's in
TCU
Columbus,
would
thank
help
goodness.
a pretty good amount to get us up there. But Ohio State and Michigan are both absolute powerhouses, and any matchup between them, especially given last year, is going to be exciting and a good game regardless of result. But when there are stipulations that involve us getting in the playoffs, it doesn't matter how fun of a game it is. We need very specific things to happen.
Yeah, and on the TCU front, I mean, that's another way we can just slide right in. If they didn't, like, Texas couldn't take care of business, but next week they go and play Baylor in their stadium. And Baylor, you know, they've had a disappointing season, but, you know, they used to be ranked. And
that game's 51-49 right now. TCU is only projected to win by 51%. That tells me somebody knows something that's going on down in Waco.
Oh, yeah, you never question Baylor's ability to put up points, so you can't count them out of this game. But, yeah, TCU's defense, it has looked very good. They were more impressive than I originally believed. That's what I took away from the game they had against Texas. And, yeah, so if TCU loses, we're automatically in. Ohio State or Michigan, one of them's going to lose, so we should slide it right in there anyway. But worst thing that can happen is Michigan beats Ohio State, and it's a close win. I'm talking like a 40-37 type of win where it's like, oh, really anybody could have won that game, and TCU wins out and wins the Big 12. Then it's going to put a lot of pressure on the college football committee to put us in, because that's an undefeated Big 12 champ and a one-loss Ohio State or a Michigan whose only loss was against, you know, the opposite, you know, the other big dog that they lost to.
Yeah,
it's going to make it tough. But
well, Chris, you said it yourself earlier. If we do get back in the playoffs, it has to be the 3 spot, because if you're the playoff pickers, you don't want to see a Tennessee versus Georgia matchup in the semifinals. That's only going to happen if/when it comes to it, and is a very specific thing that they would want. It doesn't need to be a semifinal game. It needs to be like nationals or nothing, basically.
Yeah, as far as the Tennessee basketball playoff goes, I really do think that we get in over either Ohio State or Michigan with one loss, because our resume is just miles and miles better than either of those teams will be with one loss. Because even though they would have lost to a good team, who have they played besides each other? The Big Ten this year has been a cakewalk for both those teams, and that should not be related, especially with the out-of-conference schedules being so ridiculously weak. We really, really should get in over either of those teams with one loss. But TCU does have a little bit of a hard path, because I feel like they could even lose the Big 12 championship to a team like Kansas State potentially.
Yeah, I always find it funny because, I mean, Tennessee football is like, oh, big game against LSU, big game against Florida. You know, that's just kind of like a mid-tier level game for us. But for them, they're like, oh, we got Rutgers this week. We got Indiana this week. We got to, you know, get the boys ready. Yeah, it's just way different. We're always going to have a harder schedule than we play Bama and Georgia every year.
That is the thing going for Tennessee right now is the strength of schedule. We talked about it. Some of the problems that could pose for Tennessee getting into the playoffs is Michigan beating Ohio State in Columbus. Ohio State could pose as a potential block to us getting there, but comparatively, I don't think there's anything Tennessee has to worry about. It's just the fact that if Ohio State wins, Michigan's gone regardless, and that is the preferred route for Tennessee. It might open the door for a Tennessee Ohio State matchup. We don't know. But I think, if TCU, we talked about this as well, if TCU loses one game, but gets in as a Big 12 conference champion, I think Tennessee slides into the 3 spot. You obviously keep Georgia and Ohio State ahead of them, TCU behind them as long as they win the Big 12. I don't think they get in. Man, even a one loss, if that one loss is in the Big 12 championship, TCU really just cannot afford to lose at this point. If they do, but they get in as a conference champion, that's their saving grace. I don't know what happens if their one loss is the conference championship, but TCU right now stands in Tennessee's way, and really it's going to be preferable for the Vols to have Ohio State just it's kind of mollywop Michigan all up and down the field in Columbus. Don't know that's going to happen. It was a really good game last year. Michigan finally getting that win, getting over the hump to beat Ohio State and get into the playoffs. So, man, there's a lot to talk about, guys. Unfortunately, we don't have the time really to discuss further. But previewing South Carolina game this weekend, y'all, I'm going to send it around the room real quick.
Really quick, Tennessee's going to stomp on Spencer Rattler. He's very cocky. No pun intended. No, I didn't even see that one coming.
Pun intended.
Tennessee's going. We scored 6 against Missouri. We're hitting it's gonna be 55-17.
I'm taking 63-14 Tennessee win, and I'm going to take 2 Joe Milton touchdowns.
Oh wow, love that. Yeah, back home in South Carolina, right? Go ahead, Dylan.
I'm feeling 52-15.
Okay. By virtue of the pumpkin head orange helmets, I am going to say Tennessee comes out with that extra bit of swagger, wanting to prove some things as we go along. I think they drop a 60 piece. Let's go 62-14. South Carolina will be lucky to score 14 points in the game. All right. Well, that is going to do it for the college football segment. We are going to take a really quick break. We'll be right back. We've got some NBA and NFL talk on the other side. Stay tuned. This is Rock Solid Sports here on WTK 90.3 The Rock.
Support for WUTK comes from Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. Fieldhouse Social serves American craft fare such as burgers, wings, and more with high tops around the bar, a separate dining area, and a center lounge with leather chairs and couches in front of their 23-foot LED TV wall for Tennessee and pro sports. Fieldhouse Social has an outdoor patio with trivia twice a week and sponsors Wednesday's Rock Solid Sports. FieldhouseSocial.com.
The Rock thanks the Knoxville Ice Bears Southern Professional Hockey League team for their support. Their 2022-2023 home ice season from October through April includes games with SPHL rivals Fayetteville, Huntsville, Roanoke, and more at the Civic Coliseum downtown. Single game and season tickets are at KnoxvilleIceBears.com or 865-525-PUCK. Rock Solid Sports features Ice Bears Wednesdays with news and updates. Volunteer Radio says, Go Ice Bears!
WTK thanks Dogwood Arts for their community partnership. Dogwood Arts is on a mission to keep Knoxville blooming, and they make it easy to make a difference, one tree at a time. Planting trees is a simple and effective way to clean our air, reduce stress, and conserve the environment. Over 12,000 dogwood trees have been added to our community in just 12 years through the Bazillion Blooms program. Beautify your own landscape, honor someone special, or donate a tree to the Dogwood Trails and keep Knoxville blooming for years to come. These trees come from a grower in Middle Tennessee, are disease-resistant, spring-blooming, and available in pink and white. To purchase or donate trees, visit dogwoodsart.com/bazillionblooms. dogwoodsart.com/bazillionblooms.
WUTK thanks Cool Beans, 1817 Lake Avenue, 1 block south of the Strip, for sponsoring and hosting the Monday night Rock Solid Sports broadcast at 7 p.m. Cool Beans is the pregame and postgame location for UT football, and Knoxville's home for the NFL Sunday Ticket, Titans football on the big screen, and more. Rock Solid Sports kicks off Monday Night Football with the show's live broadcast from 7 to 8 Monday nights at Cool Beans. Cool Beans is 21 and over after 9 p.m. with a full and late night menu. CoolBeansBar.com or their Facebook page.
Climb on up to Old Rocky Top.
The Rock keeps the Big Orange Sports info on air thanks to support from the UT Athletic Department and the Lady Vols basketball program. Coach Kelly Harper and the Lady Vols 2022-2023 home schedule includes games against UConn, Virginia Tech, SEC foes, and more. General public ticket info is at allvols.com. Student ticket info and login is at bigorangetics.utk.edu. That's TIX. WUTK says go Lady Vols.
Hey, this is Corey Glover from Living Color, and you're listening to 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
All right, welcome back into your Wednesday night edition of Rock Solid Sports here on WTK The Rock 90.3. Thank you for rocking with us, rocking ears for 40 years as we do. We're going to throw it out to our guy Dominic, who's down at Fieldhouse Social real quick. Dominic, give us the vibe of Fieldhouse tonight. How are things going down there with the Tennessee game on right now?
Exquisite vibes here right now. This is up 37-20. We are looking really good. I think that Colorado game might have actually been good for us. Got us back on form. But yeah, Fieldhouse is great as always. It's good, it's loud, it's fun. Everybody here is excited to be here. Great time.
All right. Good deal. We're glad to hear it for our basketballs. We'll obviously be keeping an eye on them as the night goes on. And speaking of basketball, we're going to start with some NBA. We'll throw it to Justin Clemmer real quick. What you got, bud?
So, yeah, let's check it on the Grizzlies. They're currently 6th in the Western Conference with a 9-6 record. Ja Morant has been fantastic. He's added the three-point game to, a next level. He's shooting 40% from deep. He's playing at MVP level, averaging 29 points, 6 rebounds this year.
I saw that half-court shot, too, man.
Oh, man, he's crazy. And how about that no-look steal he had last night? That you don't see that. Last night they did lose the Pelicans. Ja, of course, still put on a crazy highlight reel performance. And, it has been a slower start than expected for the Grizzlies. A lot of that's due to Triple J being out, but Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back very soon. But unfortunately, with him coming in, Desmond Bane is now going to be out for 2 weeks, and Desmond Bane's having a great season, a candidate for most improved player of the year after a great season last year. And then what's going on in Brooklyn? There's the Kevin Durant stuff. He's kind of talking about his teammate. He's talking down on his teammates because they have a rough starting lineup right now because Kyrie's out. The Nets, the owner, Joe Tsai, he gave Kyrie it was like a video game style checklist for him to prepare his relationship with the Jewish community after
which has been very debated and controversial.
We're not going to get on. We're not taking sides here, but don't know when he's coming back. He's still suspended. But actually, tonight it's still a developing story, but things are going well with Kyrie and the Nets organization, and they're going to try to get him in there Sunday as they take on the Grizzlies. So.
Cool. Well, yeah. Well, I apologize again, as I do seemingly every week. We always try to make more time for the NBA and the NHL here at our ending segment. Sometimes it does not always work out well, especially when we're sort of ping-ponging around on subjects. So, again, apologize, but I promise you, we will have much more time dedicated to NBA and NFL, especially now that the NBA is really getting off to its start. And the NFL, man, we're getting into the thick of it. So, speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk real quick, guys. Titans coming off of this weekend. Obviously, Tennessee's in a decent spot, a better spot, right? It wasn't the prettiest win, but they got it done, didn't they?
Yeah, Tannehill came back in the passing game, got a huge facelift. He threw for 255 and 2 tutties. We won the game despite not getting Derrick Henry going. We gave him the ball.
And being down 10-0, right?
Right. We gave him the ball about 20 sometimes. Only got 53 yards. And, we were out. We were able to take down Broncos country. They were not right in that day, but tough
Ain't
one.
Been right in a while, man.
Nah, it's been a minute. But they still doing high knees on the plane. You can be sure about that. But tough game tomorrow in Green Bay. It's gonna be a great test for the Titans after the Packers just took down Chris's Cowboys in a great game. It was Aaron Rodgers.
No, it wasn't. Not
for some, it was not a great game. But it looked like Aaron Rodgers of old. He was throwing dimes. They got the running game going. The offense finally looked capable of being something for real. And it's going to be a great test of Titans. We're going to be out with Bud Dupree, Amani Hooker, and a few other guys on the defensive side. But just like the game against the Broncos, it doesn't matter who we have out there. Our D-line is just coached so well. They're going to do great things. I mean, we had 6 sacks last week without Dupree or Jeffrey Simmons. So,
real quick, Dominic and Dylan, any thoughts on the game this past weekend? And what do you think about going up to Green Bay this weekend for the Titans.
Yeah, Titans love to win ugly. Go ahead, Bill.
No, you got this.
Yeah, I was just going to say Titans love to win ugly, and it does not matter who they're playing. They're going to find a way to do it and make the game close. So I really like their chances going into Green Bay. I feel like this Green Bay team has looked really rough, to be honest, at points in this season. A little bit disoriented there in the locker room, it seems. Aaron Rodgers hasn't really found his guys to throw to quite yet. So I really like the Titans' chances up there. I think they come away with something maybe along the lines of 24-17.
Oh yeah, it'll be classic Titans football. Mike Vrabel football is not pretty football. It's ugly football, but it delivers on the stat sheet. We're 6-3, looking for 7-3 tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah, so that's going to do it for our show tonight. We appreciate everyone out there for tuning in. We will be back next Wednesday. We'll have plenty more time to talk about that Titans-Packers game, as well as the Grizzlies and Tennessee Athletics. Stay tuned for the alternative hour coming up.
Rocking ears for 40 years. You are tuned in to WUTK in Knoxville, Tennessee.